Hi, Katie here, and welcome to day 6 of Breast Health Awareness Month. And today I thought I would, because it's Self-Care Sunday, and one of my routines on Self-Care Sundays is to perform a coffee enema. I do this for detoxification purposes, and I actually did a part 1. So if you haven't seen part 1, please look for that video and watch that one first. But this one is part 2, which is how to set up your enema kit and do it safely. And this is really key. So I will say that now, originally when I first started, I used an enema bucket. That's what my doctor recommended, and there are good reasons for that. But I had some issues with it, and when I needed to travel, I couldn't very well take my enema bucket with me on the airplane, whatnot, or in the suitcase. So I went and got a kit. This is the one I got. Actually, it's called Milk Care. And it is basically an enema bag. This is what it looks like. And what's really important is that you get medical grade silicone, right? You don't want to be using a plastic one. You don't want to just be using some water bottle that that your grandmother maybe had in the closet or something. You definitely want to get something that's made for this purpose, because it's really important that it's medical grade silicone, so you don't have any problems of infection. And then they come with actually multiple different tips and whatnot that you can use. And there's other kits, that have smaller and whatnot. So again, when you're doing something new like this, you want to, go low and slow and be super careful. I once had somebody post, they're like, "Ooh, it hurts." This should never hurt, and nothing that I'm explaining to you should ever hurt. And if it does, you're doing something wrong. So don't do that. But anyway, you basically, here is your tip. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that I talked about the coffee and preparing it in the first video, but you also want to make sure that everything is clean and sterilized, right? You want to boil this your tip in hot water that's been hopefully distilled water or clean water that's then been boiled and clean. And then once it's clean, you're going to use something like organic coconut oil on the tip. This helps with lubrication. You don't want to use something like petroleum jelly or something like that, because that comes from petroleum, yes, oil. So you do not want to be putting that in your body. You want food grade, medical, organic, something like coconut oil. So that's what you do in that. And then, we've talked about the coffee needs to be cool, warm, but not hot. That's super important. And then what's so great about this kit is it has this lovely little device. This is the flow, right? So obviously once you put the coffee in, you want to make sure that the valve is, they have, other kits have ones, they literally, it's a clamp and it shuts it off. But in this one, you actually have a valve. And so when it's facing upward, that means it's closed off. The coffee's not going to flow. You put the coffee in and you have it shut. And then, you want to open the valve before you insert it. You want to open the valve, get the coffee flowing all the way down through the tip, and then stop it. And then you stop it, right? So now you've got all the air bubbles out and it's stopped. Now the next thing you're going to do is lie on your bathroom floor, and you're going to put down some towels and whatnot, right? So make sure you're comfortable. I have a pillow there. You want to get your towels, whatnot, but very as close as possible to where your toilet is. And then you're going to lay on now this I looked up, but generally it's recommended that you lay on your left side for insertion and then start there, and then a few minutes into it you roll over onto your right side. This ensures that you are getting to both your lower colon and your right and your upper colon. But basically you're going to get on your side, you're going to hook this up higher, and the higher you hook it up, this is just basic science, the faster the flow is going to go. So if you hook it up really high, it's going to come out really fast. If you want it to not come out so fast, try to hook it down something a little lower, closer to you on the ground. But if you get it too low, then it won't flow at all. So you got to get that happy balance. I do mine on a towel rack that's pretty high. And then you're going to get on your left side and very gently insert this. And you don't want to go too far, right? We're just going, oh, this tip is not very big. You're not going very far. So it's super important you do this safely. And then once it's inserted, then you can go back to your clamp and slowly release, right? You can even have it kind of halfway. It'll go in kind of slowly. And what I do, especially when you're new to this, just do a little bit and then stop. And then wait a minute or two, and then do a little bit more and then stop, right? So you don't need to have the whole thing rushing in full go from the get-go, right? And we talked about this in the first video, that even though you work up to 4 cups, you might want to start with 2 cups, or you might want to prepare 4 cups, do 2 cups, expel, and then do the next 2 cups. So once all the liquid is in, you can start the timer. And like I said, optimally, you get up to 20 minutes. You probably won't in the beginning. It'll probably only be maybe a few minutes, which is fine. The minute you feel like you really need to expel, go ahead and do that. Don't be, like holding it, right? There's no prizes for, none of this should be painful. So, or uncomfortable, but it does take some practice. But anyway, that is my detoxification tip for today. And again, this is not, you should work with a healthcare professional or a coach like me or something to figure out exactly how often you should be doing this. But, like I said, I always recommend start slow, maybe whatever. I do mine actually once a week now, but it really depends on where you're at in your journey and what your goals are for doing this practice. But the main thing is to make sure you're doing it safely and effectively. So that's my detoxification tip for today. I'll see you later.